Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. As you can see, this is my continuing series of Pillars of Eternity, episode number 4. And this is a conclusion of Visions and Whispers, so part 2 of that particular adventure. So what you're going to see is in the very beginning, you're going to see where I had made the decision to recruit a new recruit to my group, and so you'll see that. So that's the real core of this, and then much of this particular 30-minute story is just that. It's story. It's filling in what was where the overall visions and whispers to both the past and to the future are related to. So you'll get a good sense of the story as it stands right now. So without further ado, I am going to go right into the video itself. Okay, welcome back everyone to another episode of Pillars of Eternity. And where I left off last time, I'm going to pick right up again. So if you watched the last video, you know that I was contemplating purchasing
Hail and well
another member of the team. So I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm looking for another reliable person, and let's see who we have. So what you do here when you're recruiting an adventurer, you recruit an adventurer for at least 250 copper pieces from what I can tell. And when you click on that, which I'm going to accept, you're basically creating another character for your group. So I'm going to keep this a female. I want an elf. I will keep her a wood elf. So we have a cleric, we have a barbarian, a wizard, and I want a priest. So we will go with the priest. She's athletics and a +2 to lore. And we will go to next here. So with priests, what they do here is they have that their dispositions are. So she's stoic and rational for this particular deity, Barath, and disfavored dispositions is passionate and cruel. Here we have benevolent and honest versus cruel and deceptive. Here we have aggressive and clever versus diplomatic and passionate. Here we have deceptive and cruel versus benevolent and aggressive. And finally, we have deceptive and clever versus rational and honest. So each one seems to have its reverse. So I'm going to go with benevolent and honest. So I want to basically create a healer. And it shows a number of spells that she already has. So Holy Radiance, Armor of Faith, Barbs of Condemnation, punishes a target for their sins, decreasing their deflection, fortitude, reflexes, and will. That's a combat only. Blessing, call for divine favor, Divine terror strikes fear into the hearts. Halt. Commands a single enemy to halt. The priest clears his or her mind, spreading the clarity to nearby allies. Holy meditation. Prayer against fear, so kind of cures fear. Restore minor endurance, so that's basically a healing. And withdraw, combat only. Isolates a single target within a protective sphere, shielding them from harm while their endurance recharges. Alright, so highly recommended traits or attributes for priests is might. Dexterity is recommended. And intelligence. As you can see, intelligence will increase the area of effect, duration, and will. So I have 15 points to spend. So I am definitely going with, let's go at least with a 14 in each of those. And a 15, and then do a little bit extra in here. Okay, and we'll go to next. So now this is the region that they come from, so they'll get a regional bonus. And I'm looking for, since intelligence was a major, intellect. Alright, so I want to go with that. Not too crazy about her weapon, but her background, so she can either increase lore if she's an aristocrat, a colonist, survival. A drifter is stealth and mechanics. A laborer is athletics and mechanics. A merchant is lore and mechanics. An artist is just lore. A dissident is stealth and lore. A hunter is stealth and survival. Mercenary is athletics and lore. And a slave, athletics. I'm gonna make her an aristocrat. Primary colors. Let's see if she. Let's find somebody that kind of looks like her. I guess it's similar, although her hair is more black. Okay. What's his voice? Okay.
I'm here. I shall lead us. Let's go!
Shh. Yes?
I'm flattered.
I'll go with benevolent. A name. Okay. Let's go with Callista. I think it's very similar to the one that got killed, but that's fine. Okay. So now I have a cleric in the party, and I just unlocked an achievement.
Yeah.
Now, I know in here I did not check out this table here.
I'm here.
I wanted to see. So, copper, a book, and a scroll. So, Yeah, so this is basically what I wanted. I wanted the Crucible of the Night. I wanted here, and the scroll I was intending on her to have. Let's see, right-click for details. Alright, so it's like a magic scroll that she can cast. She has the lore to and able to do it. Two-handed. I'm not crazy about that. Let's check our... I think I had gotten rid of a... He's pretty good. I gotten rid of a shield.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's get everybody. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow up on the when we entered in to go see if that that mystic that was hung on the tree will reveal. There's a staircase there as well. This is what I want to see. Caldera of Baranzi. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Reach out for the woman. Let's do that. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward a hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with a new unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electrical surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in the wind. You no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in the misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear, or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Okay, I'm just going to ask right away. something about myself. So she nods and looks, and a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay. What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well, a wonder! Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
And so I'm going to ask her, I think I survived Biawak. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You said souls break apart over time.
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think. Me? I'll bore you to tears, though. And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
She laughs, resting. I asked what happened to her. See choke cackle escaping rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down in spasms.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found? Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up. A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other. Turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear. Of course, dear. Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Okay.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Okay, so we gained 1,300 experience points. Oh my gosh. Total quest experience was 1950. Alright, I am a watcher. In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we are traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share things. Do you know anything about Watchers? I ask him, only that they are rare, seem to have unique insights. Let's continue on. And so that completed Visions and Whispers.
Yes?
So let's take a look at her and see. She only gained 434.
Huh?
Let's check each of the characters. So I'm very close to next level. he is very close, and she's working her way up. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go into another adventure, but I do want to look at... Let's check this smithery out. I guess that's here. I want everybody here.
Yes?
Oh, so that's pretty cool. You can see where your other character is. And let's bring them both all here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I got everybody. Let's go in here and see what we can do inside this place.
Right.
Well, I'm not looking to steal. Ah, here's the smithy. So what do you have here? Let's take a look at his shop. Show me what you have for sale. Okay. So here's some weapons. Wow, they're expensive. Here's a plain crossbow. I don't have a whole lot of money yet, but let's see, a sword, 13 to 18. Oh, so my battle axe does that, say. An outworn buckler, small shield, a breastplate, mail armor, scale armor, 300. It looks like we're going to have to do a little adventuring in order to gain some money, but now I know she had said, so this is where we have to go in order to do that next adventure, but I'm a bit of a completionist, so I'm going to no come back over here. All right. I'm a bit of a completionist, and I know that I had bypassed that that adventure to the north, and so I am going to go back and see about that bear. So I want to go back to Valenwood. And we'll see Yeah, you see, I had come all through here, but I haven't gone up over into this area over here. And so that's what I'm going to do the next time. So I'm going to close out episode 4. Take a real quick look at our journal and see. So Visions and Whispers is done. I want to go back and discover what is going on with that bear. Moment's respite. It was escaping the ruins. I don't see it exactly here, but anyway, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to, bring it on down. So, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a lot of story, so you're getting to hear a lot of the story of the characters and and what's going on in the world. You saw, a system of how to recruit a new adventurer into your party, so that was very useful bit of information. And once again, thanks for joining, and you'll have a great evening. Okay, so once again, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you liked the video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And the next episode, episode 5, will be that adventure, returning to Valenwood, and we'll see where that leads, because I know I left some loose ends there. And once again, look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. You'll have a great afternoon.